Thank God it's Sunday, and this is February 14th, Valentine's Day. Uh, I want to wish everybody a wonderful Valentine's Day. It's a little backstory on Valentine's Day. It was started with the Romans, and it was named after a few martyrs at the time. There were a lot of martyrs back there. It's a Christian type Roman holiday that started, and one of the martyrs, or one of the people, I guess, who lost their lives was Valentine, Saint Valentine, and it's celebrated all over the world. You name it. Valentine's Day is an international celebration of romance and love, and it is in memory of those Roman martyrs. It's a Christian, Roman Catholic based holiday that I guess just spread like wildfire, and everybody likes romance and everybody likes love, and most people anyway that you talk to do not hate love. Anyway, so that's a little backstory on St. Valentine's Day, and I hope everybody enjoys it. I'm blogging from my room in Austin, Texas. It's about 28 degrees. Everybody's inside. It's completely frozen over. It's not safe to go outside, either in your vehicle or walking. Light is very important, so I found these candles in my room, so I utilized them just to bring up the light as best I can. I opened the shade, and we'll see how this transpires. I want to say hello to everybody out there who's enjoying my blogs and my videos, and I'm just having fun with it and enjoying it, and I hope you are too. So today I want to talk about something that's really interesting. My brother-in-law Paul from Fort Myers, Florida, sent me an email, and 1971 was a real 50 years ago. This year is a 50-year anniversary of 1971, and some of the things that are celebrating an anniversary in 50-year anniversary from 1971. There are many things, of course, but I just highlighted a few that I think everybody can identify with and have experience with, or maybe if not, you can experience it while you're still breathing. So without further delay, let me try and just tell you, 50 years, happy birthday to the quarter pounder from McDonald's, that famous sandwich that everybody seems to can't get enough of. The quarter pounder. I guess the McDonald's Corporation was the first hamburger franchise or hamburger company that got the idea that let's just put a whole cow. Let's just put a whole cow between two pieces of bun, and let's speed up any heart problems or any cholesterol problems somebody might have, and let's just put a quarter pounder of beef on a hamburger. Walt Disney World, 50 years ago today, in Orlando, Florida. This park was a celebration of Walt Disney. It was the sister park of the one in Anaheim, California, and then they wanted to remember Walt Disney, so they built this park in Orlando as a tribute to him, and that's why it's called Walt Disney World, or Disney World, in Orlando, Florida. And back then it was $3.50 to get into Walt Disney World in 1971, and if you were under 12, it was $1. And today you can't get in there, I guess, for just to park, I think costs $1,500 just to park your car at Disney World. So it's been unfortunately it's outpriced many affordability for many families who'd like to go there but simply can't afford it. You can go there yourself and leave your family in the car, maybe just pay for parking, tell them you'll be back in a couple of hours. I can only afford to go myself. Make sure the windows are cracked, get some air. I left some water in the trunk. Don't drain the battery listening to the music or the stereo or the news. I'll be back. We can't all afford to go. We can afford to park, but that's where it ends. Clockwork Orange is 50 years old today. That very controversial movie by Stanley Kubrick, Clockwork Orange. For you moviegoers, which is about everybody in the world today with this Netflix phenomenon, I suggest you check out Clockwork Orange. It's you'll get a kick out of it, and you might not know what you're watching. The first email was sent 50 years ago. I can't imagine what it said, but the first email was 50 years ago today. All in the Family, the famous sitcom on, I think it was CBS, is 50 years old today and can still be seen on network televisions and special cable shows, still in reruns. The National Association of Security Dealers Automated Quotations, also known as NASDAQ, is 50 years old today. In 1971, NASDAQ. That's quite a long name. Let me say it again. National Association of Security Dealers Automated Quotations, and they call that NASDAQ. So that's over $1 trillion, or some god awful figure of funds are held in that segment. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is 50 years old again with what was his name? Gene Wilder did a great job. It's a movie about more than just chocolate. It's about young people and their attitudes, their disposition, their egos, and it's just it's a classic. If you haven't seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, not the remake. I suppose there's been a few remakes. I don't know who can keep up with all the remakes, but the original with Gene Wilder is the one you want to see. And anything else Gene Wilder is in. Young Frankenstein is another favorite. Blazing Saddles is another favorite. They were going to have Richard Pryor be in Blazing Saddles, but the insurance people said no, that it was too much of a risk. I don't know if that's quite the truth, but that's what I've heard. They wanted Richard Pryor to play opposite Gene Wilder, but it didn't work out, and they got that the other black actor to play that role. Tupac Shakur would have been 50 years today if he hadn't been shot to death in Las Vegas. If you ever saw any of his movies, unbelievable. The camera just loves this guy. I mean, it's like magic, and it's just terrible. Somehow all the good ones, the real good ones, are taken away so soon. He would have been 50 years old today. Greenpeace was started 50 years ago today. Thank you, Greenpeace, for trying to save the world one boat at a time. Their initial experience was stopping the nuclear tests on the coast of Alaska, and that's where they got to be known. And they're 50 years ago, and I think they're a good organization. They try to save the whales and save the dolphins and save and save the planet, and quite a successful worldwide organization 50 years today. Malibu Barbie is 50 years old today, and I've heard she's got a lot of work done. She's got her face done and her tummy tuck and her eyelids. She's got hair extensions. She's got breast, what do they call it? Enlargement or augmentation breasts. I heard she got her private parts redone. I don't know much about that and really don't want to go into it. But Malibu Barbie, she's been divorced 14 times in the 50 years since her conception. She's had 3 children, 2 out of wedlock, unmarried. I guess they call that a bastard child. I'm not sure. And she's been in courtrooms ever since, on and off. She's been arrested for DWI at least twice. In Southern California, there are some more charges pending in Arizona and Maui in Hawaii, but they haven't been determined yet. So Malibu Barbie has had quite a turbulent life since we've known her on the beaches of Malibu. So happy birthday to Malibu Barbie. Is 50 years. The band, the iconic band, the Eagles, is 50 years old today. The floppy disk is 50 years old today. I had to look up what a floppy disk really is. I think it's a storage unit in a square, and then some kind of felt to keep the dust out, Anyway, floppy disk. Some of you people out there will probably know what a floppy disk is. I've I really, it's just, I guess there's information you store on the floppy disk, and you can put it in your hard drive perhaps, and then you can look at it. I don't know. NPR radio, very, very controversial news source. They want to be National Public Radio, and they're independent and this, but then I heard they do have some sponsors in the oil industry, so they may not be as free to say what they can say that will help us. So I don't know about NPR. I don't know. Harold and Maude, one of the greatest black comedies you'll ever see. If you haven't seen this one, moviegoers, you've got to see Harold and Maude. And I love this movie so much that I even have the book, Harold and Maude. This is a classic black comedy. If you're a funny person and you like to laugh and you like funny movies, you haven't lived until you've seen Harold and Maude. 50 years old today. FedEx is 50 years old today. The shipping company, that was the brainchild of a college student. I think he did it on his thesis, and it wound up to be a worldwide success. FedEx, when it has to be there absolutely tomorrow. Tom Hanks even did a movie called Castaway, and I was watching the movie in the theater when you could go to theaters, and I said to myself about 40 minutes in, maybe a half an hour, not too far, I realized that I had been bamboozled, that this is a FedEx commercial. This is a 2-hour FedEx commercial. It really got my goat. It really got my goat when I realized I was being bamboozled. You know, right from the beginning, FedEx and the plane crash, and then on the beach, and then the packages, and then at the end he was delivering the packages. Oh my God, I felt extremely taken when I realized that I was being manipulated and showing a $2.5, $15 ticket, $80 popcorn, large classic Coke for about $9 to watch a 2-hour FedEx movie. So I'll never trust Hollywood again in a way that it wasn't very trustable to begin with. Who trusts Hollywood to tell a story, an accurate story? But certainly that was blasphemy. Blasphemy. And people enjoyed it, and they liked it, and they liked it, and they enjoyed it. But you were taken. But the pocket calculator is 50 years old today. The pocket calculator. Dirty Harry, the movie, Dirty Harry with Clint Eastwood, which became an icon for his career in a series of Dirty Harry movies. Originally, that was supposed to be that Frank Sinatra was going to play Dirty Harry, but he hurt his hand, probably punching somebody in a casino, and that's the story that I was told. And due to his injury of his hand, he couldn't take that role, and as a result, Clint Eastwood took it and just nailed it. Unbelievable. And I think the Dirty Harry, it's a great movie, but I think it had a lot of negative influence on law enforcement in the United States, believe it or not. I can't help seeing young cops in training or recruits watching Dirty Harry movies and then getting their uniform on and going to work and being influenced by that attitude. You can figure out what I'm talking about. I'm not going to break it down. I'm not gonna break it down, split hairs. But so Dirty Harry was, I guess, a good movie if you weren't in law enforcement, and if you were, maybe it wasn't such a good movie. Maybe they should have stopped. If you were a police officer or a policewoman, you weren't allowed to watch Dirty Harry movies. Maybe they should have done that. Restricted them, like they restrict children from going to see, I don't know, Clockwork Orange. Amtrak is 50 years old today. Amtrak is the result of about 20 regional railroads that were going out of business. They were in bankrupt. Everybody was flying on airplanes. And the railroad industry, as we know today, is still suffering. So they combined these 20 fledgling regional carriers into one. Congress did this, and it was called Amtrak. And now Amtrak is our national uh, railroad transportation company, which needs a lot of help. If anybody knows a senator or a congressman, if anybody has any pull, Amtrak needs help. It needs to be funded. We need high-speed trains. We need to get on board. I mean, we need infrastructure. We need railroad infrastructure in this country like nobody's brother or sister. Jim Morrison passed away 50 years ago today in a bathtub. And we lost Whitney Houston in a bathtub on the 12th. So you celebrities who have dicey lifestyles, get rid of your bathtubs and your hot tubs and your swimming pools. Crazy lifestyles in water, they don't mix. UAE was established. The United Arab Emirates was established 50 years ago today. And if you haven't been to the United Arab Emirates, I suggest you go. It's interesting, and they say go when it's not hot. Just go. Don't worry about the weather. I never do. Look at me. If I was worrying about the weather, I wouldn't be in Austin, Texas right now. The first chat room was 50 years ago today. The first chat room. I don't know what they were talking about. They probably don't even know what they were talking about. What do you talk about when you're the first chat in the chat room? Can you hear me? Do you want to chat? What do you want to chat about? I don't know. I don't know what to chat about. I've never been on a chat room before. Well, let's chat. Well, I don't know what chat is. What is chat? What the, So that's the first CT scan was 50 years ago. Is a 50-year anniversary of the CT. Is that the CAT scan? I'm not sure. There's a body scan, and then there's a CAT scan, I think is for the brain. And this has a funny backstory. The Beatles were so successful and made so much money for their record label, Elektra Records. Elektra was also a company that was involved in electronics and high-tech stuff and other companies. And they made so much money from the money that the Beatles produced with all their albums that they were able to do research and development into CAT scan, and that's why we have CAT scan today. Is from this initial research and development and invention from Elektra, the same label that the Beatles were on at the time. 50 years ago, they stopped cigarette ads on the television. A lot of young people won't even remember. They had the Marlboro Man, and they had that other guy on Camel. The other guy on Camel, I think, if you remember back in the day, he got cancer, I think, or he got sick, and he rallied against the cigarette advertisement because it was terribly influenced, and they had cartoon figures smoking Camel cigarettes. It was just like, get them hooked early, get them hooked, and keep them hooked, regardless of the damage it does to their lungs. So 50 years ago, they stopped that nonsense. Kevlar has been invented by DuPont. Kevlar, the bulletproof vest material, it's 5 times stronger than steel. And 5 times stronger than steel, and everybody knows how strong steel is. This is just an amazing invention. And the Pentagon Papers is 50 years ago, 1971. The Pentagon Papers came out. You can Google all the information about that. That was shedding a light on some of the shortcomings of the Vietnam War, which I think everybody's familiar with. Attica, the largest prison riot in the history of the United States. Attica, upstate New York, was happened, and a lot of people got killed, mostly prison guards. Not prison guards, I'm sorry, mostly prisoners. Finally, they had to break it up, and they sent in the guys with the guns. And as you know, the ones with the guns always win. That's just the way it is. And so you can Google Attica, and that's a very interesting read. Attica prison riot. Hamburger Helper was invented 50 years ago today. Mom is great. Mom is great in, I guess, in the bedroom. Mom is great at, bringing up the kids and getting them ready for school and taking care of dad and cleaning the house. And mom is good at a lot of things. We love our moms, but some of them don't know how to cook. And Hamburger Helper helped out these moms who were deficient in the kitchen. It was the easiest thing in the world. I think it came in a box and they threw it in a pan. They heated it up and it helped mom to get people to think that mom knew how to cook. You know, it was the greatest thing for moms who were not interested in cooking or didn't know how. So the Hamburger Helper saved mom from being, I guess, kicked to the curb. And so that was probably the biggest invention for women, besides the bra, perhaps. I don't know. A Hamburger Helper. I mean, if you're a mom and you're in the kitchen and you got 4 kids or 3 kids and a husband and maybe a boyfriend and you don't know how to cook, you're up the creek without a paddle. You got to feed your men. You got to feed your men. You know, there's an old saying, to get to the heart, you got to go through the stomach or something like that, especially on St. Valentine's Day. And the last one I'm going to bring up is soft contact lenses. Soft contact lenses. That was 50 years ago today. So thank you, Paul Maniscalco, from my brother-in-law, from sending that email from Fort Myers, Florida. I also have a book here I want to profile. This is my favorite book in the whole wide world. If you like books, this is called The Memory of Running. The Memory of Running. My sister Sue got me this book, and it is my favorite book. I order it to give to people, and it's by Ron McLarty, M-C-L-A-R-T-Y. M-C-L-A-R-T-Y. Ron McLarty. I think he's passed away by now. He was an actor. He lived in New York City, and this book is just unbelievable. So I think that's going to be about it. I don't want to run this too long. This is the Valentine's, I guess, Day display. I found this up on a shelf over here, and I figured I'd utilize it for the Valentine's Day log. And so stay warm, enjoy Valentine's Day, and spread all the love you can, and bring it into tomorrow's President's Day. It's a holiday, a federal holiday. And then hopefully this weather will break soon, and that'll be the end of it. So thanks for watching. I'll view this camera. The description will be in the description block with the longitude and latitude. All the information that I gave you will be in the description box, and you'll be able to Google whatever information you would like more information about. So thanks for listening. Don't knock the candles over. Don't knock the candles over. Oh, okay.